Hello, welcome. My name is Duke CJ Amobi and this is the Duke Show. With me here are very wonderful men. But before I introduce them, we'll be talking about the topic startups, business startups. And I'm going to be introducing starting from my left. With me here is Dumo from Native Flavors. Welcome Dumo to the show. With me here is Dr. Emmanuel Asian from Allied Currency Traders Corporation. Welcome to the show. And GD from Maximum Consults. Welcome gentlemen to the show. You guys look good, by the way, before I start. Very nice suit, very nice suit. Without much talk, we will be asking a couple of questions that will help. And I trust your sense of expertise. So we'll be asking a couple of questions on the show that will help our viewers, in their certain and prospective area of whatever thing that they've chosen to do. By the way, I'm going to start with you, Dumo. It's going to be a very funny question, but I'm sure you will find it interesting as well. You're a guy, and you have a restaurant. You are a chef.
He's a chef, of course.
You are a chef, definitely. How did you come about that, and what was the inspiration behind it? Because I know mostly that it's a lady's job.
It's not actually.
The traditional belief is that it's a lady's job.
Most of the famous chefs in the world are guys.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So what's the inspiration behind that?
Well, I think it's passion.
Okay.
Passion. For me, doing what I do is all about passion. I enjoy cooking.
Okay.
I enjoy people eating. And especially when the food is good, after eating, the satisfaction,
wow,
that people derive, the pleasure of sitting together and eating, it gives me pleasure to see people eat and be happy. So I think it's the passion to cook and to make people happy, to create cordiality amongst men. That's what drives me.
That's wonderful. When did you start?
Well, I think I used to say that for me cooking is genetic, because I come from a family where my mom is a caterer and virtually everybody in my house cooks.
Wow.
Or bakes. Some of my siblings actually bake professionally for weddings and for events. And I was never called to the kitchen or taught about, I never went to the catering school. But all my life, it's just observing people, watching, and then trying out yourself. Incidentally, we have a tradition at home. You bake your birthday cake. So everybody, when it's your birthday, you bake it.
Wow.
So it started. And then I started cooking for my birthdays as well. And I remember a long time ago, a lady on my birthday actually said, maybe you should cook professionally because you really cook very well for a man. And maybe I would love to buy this. And when the opportunity came and the atmosphere was right, I ventured into it.
That's good. And so far so good, yeah?
So far so good. I think we're just starting. There's a long way to go. A long way. I already see the future in it.
That's good. Thank you very much for that intro. What about you, Mr. Emmanuel Asian? What's your company, what's your brand all about?
Okay. Okay, I would say my brand, what I actually do is I try to encompass everything.
Okay.
Some people say I'm just maybe multitasking in a way, but my company deals with mostly everything that involves currency. Let me just summarize that way. So whatever actually deals with exchanges, money, small businesses, we try to incorporate them together to bring out results. So we support, we promote, we advertise. That's like the primary thing.
Basically, yeah.
And then maybe there's another thing we do foreign exchanges, stocks, training, and that's all.
Oh, okay. What about you, Mr. GD? What's Maximum Consult all about? A couple of months ago, I remember that you started a magazine.
Yeah.
I'd like you to also tell us what it's about.
Okay. Well, let me start first by
saying what Maximum Consult is all about. Yeah.
Okay. Maximum Consult is what I call human capacity development outfit.
Okay.
And we're also into resource management. Okay. So what we actually do is we make people better. We try to outsource for talent, and because the major motivation is when you look around, you see a lot of people with talent. It's different gifts, but then there's this problem expressing themselves. So what we do is to be the bridge between the man with the talent and the world. So it sets that stage for it to shine, so to say. So that's what we do basically. So we do it in various means. We try to like maybe when you want to start up, we give you advice, and we don't just advise you. We sort of stay with you all through it. When you are trying to implement your plans, we review things together. When you need any form of help, and also we support people too. When you have maybe you need support, you already have your plans and all that. So you can come in to like make it work.
Okay. What about the magazine that you started? What was the aim behind the magazine?
Yeah, the magazine is actually one of our pet projects here, because we have people working with us, a lot of people, and quite a number of them are sort of interested in publication and all that. So when we came together, and our aim, like I said earlier, is to make people better, develop them, and so they are like willing to go into that. So let's do something.
Something that can help them, something that can give them the inspiration and the motivation
give them
to move forward. Yeah.
So much later, on their own, they can start up and do something good for themselves.
Okay, so that's good. Thank you very much for that that insight. I'll start with you. A couple of questions was texted to us, from our online viewers, and it's meant for each and every one of you. But I'll start with Emmanuel Asian from Allied Currency Traders Corporation. The first question is, your business involves risk. Yeah? So how do you know that a certain venture or any venture at all is well calculated?
Okay, well, I would say this way. Well, every business involves risk.
Okay.
And you have to calculate the risk. Definitely I calculate the risk before I jump into any business. So if I see a small business, because that's the vision of my company, so if I see a small business, whether it's like photography, anyone, before I venture into it, I actually need to sit down with the person or talk with the person with the small business. I'm not going to buy the business because I see that maybe he's making money. No, I'm going to buy the business because I'm adding my own vision to what he's going to run. So in case he is not really doesn't have foresight deep into what he's doing, or maybe he's not having faith in what he or she is doing. So we actually put our hands to make sure it goes forward. Then the risk there will be, when will the profits come, and how will we split the profit. I always know how to do it, but there's always risk, and I always know how to control it. That's what I think.
Okay, but is there a particular, you said but is there a particular way you try to find out? How do you go around it? Is there a way you calculate to make sure that it is not the type of risk that will cost you a fortune?
Okay, well, in this kind of arena, I wouldn't like to go deep into everything.
No, you have to go deep into it. I mean, isn't that the essence? When you learn, you teach.
I would say something, like for instance, because I'll use one business for instance. A popular one is the forex business. They call it currency business. It's currency exchange, like foreign exchange. That's what it means, forex. And most people venture into it, and then at the end they lose out because of several things they don't know, the factors involved. So I think for me, what I do is, if you invest with me, for instance, or I'm investing into something like forex, first I give you the certainty that, let's say, your capital is secure with me, which makes my consumer very much pretty okay. In the second month, we pay you have your capital out, so automatically you don't have problem. The first month we pay your interest, and the second month half of your capital is already out. So you virtually almost having the same capital, you put it back, and then you still keep paying your profit. So the risk is actually being bear by me. So it's not the consumer, which makes more consumers come. That's what I do.
Okay, thank you. To you, Jide.
Okay.
The question was, when I got the question, to me, it's a mind-blowing question. So I'd like you to touch a little bit on it. The question is this: in business, what kind of personality do you advise for a prospective successful business person? Should it be a soft-hearted personality or a hard-hearted personality? Because most times you see the soft ones not go far in business because they are soft, and you see the ones who are like a shark make it. So personally, from your own perspective, what kind of personality do you advise for people who want to go into business?
Well, I would advise neither of both.
Really? Why do you say that?
You should have a mix of both, because there are times whereby you have to be really firm and bring out that hard part of you when you want to make certain decisions. And there are times whereby you have to go soft, because diplomacy also is important in business, and you must put all these factors into consideration. If you are too firm at times, you will lose out. There are times whereby you have to sit back and relax a bit, and there are times whereby you have to go all out and be fierce. It's serious business, so just a mix of both. Don't go to the extreme.
Okay.
Never the extreme.
Okay, thank you very much for that. To you, Mr. Dumo, how would you advise our online viewers to, help them in developing their business plans? For example, I know many people who have potentials, they have these great business ideas, but they are scared of starting it. Why? Because they are scared, it might fail at some point, it might not go far. So what would your advice be? If you're sitting one-on-one with this person right now, how do you advise them to develop their business plans and to carry it forth?
Okay, very, very, very first, I'd like to say this, that anyone who is scared of starting a business will never ever succeed in that business. You need to go past your fear. The very first thing you have to work on before you start a business as an entrepreneur is yourself. You have to have the mindset of an entrepreneur. And this kind of mindset is very, very important. Because you see, you will keep meeting a lot of obstacles. You will make losses sometimes. What keeps you going is this mindset, knowing that you have all it takes to succeed, and that success will come if you push hard enough. So the very first thing I like you to do is, number one, you have a plan, you have an idea. First is you need to do a market survey. A lot of people have plans, but they don't want to share with people because they think they'll steal their idea. But when the whole issue about opening a restaurant, came up, I had to talk to people. In fact, I discovered that the restaurant business is actually among the top 10 businesses that have the highest failure rates, ability to fail. So I had to do a lot of research. I had to do some market survey. The first problem why a lot of people fail in business is because they bring out products that are not ready to be sold in the market. People don't want to buy. So first you have to look for something that can sell in the market and make a survey. And then secondly, you need a business plan. A lot of people just start doing a business and there's no plan. There's no business plan. Now, what the business plan does for you is that it helps you to see the things that you will most likely have to deal with while you're in business. So you sit down and have a plan on paper. You get to understand the challenges you will face, the capital you need, the human resource you need, how do you beat competition. All those things will be covered in your business plan. And then when you have your business plan, the next thing is take this step. This is where a lot of people miss it. Before I started, a lot of people told me that, well, congrats, bro, we had this idea of having a restaurant in, they had, a lot of people got to this point. Some people had meetings, they developed plans, strategies, but they couldn't take that one step to start. You see, it's like taking a leap. You really need to take that first step, because you'll never know. You will never ever know if you can succeed or not. But you see, all success skills are learnable. All business skills are learnable. But if you can learn them enough and take that one bold step to start, down the consequences. Talking about the mind or the kind of person an entrepreneur should be. You must have that ruggedness in your mind. That whatever it is, if I'm going to lose $5,000, I'm in for it. You see, so taking that one big step keeps you motivated. Yes. And I'm not going to say if you take that one big step, you won't fail. No. But it's knowing that if you fail, life is a game. Business is also a game. You just play to win. Sometimes you lose. But what you do? You bounce back. That's what makes people millionaires. Not because they've tried and always won. No. They kept at it. They kept going. And no matter what happened, they just kept going. So don't give up even after you make that one big step. So I think that's what you need to start.
Okay, thank you very much. I wish I have to start paying for this consultation. I really have to. Going to you, Emmanuel. If you in business, you are a successful businessman to a very great extent.
Thank you.
And what has your greatest challenge been in business? If you can go down the memory lane, you don't have to rush in. We could take 2 seconds to think.
It's a big question, but being a big question, I have to give an answer that viewers at home, actually, that are watching, they will know exactly where the problem is when it comes to this kind of, let's say, like my kind of business. Okay, but I would say the biggest challenge I've ever had was to interact with people. How can I get my product out to people? How can I convince them? Because anything involving business and money, well, to the society, most people, especially when it comes to investment, for instance, people actually run away from it because of losses and maybe because of lies. And the whole principle of saying every businessman is a liar, well, it's not true in a sense. And I wouldn't say all businessmen are also truthful. In a way, yes, it's a business. We know how we run it. But the thing here is interaction. How can you interact with your consumers well? How can you make them know that, yes, this product really needs their demand? So that was my biggest challenge. And I think I surpassed it with time. It took time to do that, but with time I was able to. But one secret here is do not try to sell yourself out to your consumers. Don't sell yourself out. Don't make them feel that without them you cannot exist. You can still actually exist without them. Because it's your capital, you started it up, and you have seen.
But without them you can't go far.
Yeah.
You know, without them really you can't.
Yeah,
who is going to patronize you?
This is the problem with the way people see entrepreneurs and let's say businessmen. They feel they don't have capital also. The first thing they need for their product is to come to the consumers to demand for their money, but it's not the truth. Before I started, I actually had my own capital, which I did risk, which, like my colleague is saying, everything you need to do is all about risk. So it's from my risk that I know that there was results from my risk. So over here, I can actually protect my consumers against the risk. So they are lucky. They are not the ones doing the work. So once you're able to break that barrier of the risk in your business and it's secure, you will definitely be able to get as many consumers as possible. So the biggest fear is always that. The biggest fear everybody sees is risk, but the truth is that what brings the profit is a risk.
Is a risk. So. Okay, thank you so very much for that. The next question I have for you is what is the drive for your success? You have a company, you started a magazine. What is the drive for your success? Why haven't you given up? What has kept you, going?
Well, it's always been the same since when I was a kid. That's the passion to just make people better.
Okay.
And I think it still has, maybe it's one of the reasons why I'm studying medicine today.
Okay.
You get, because it's just been my lifestyle. I just want to make people better, people around me. How can I help? You get, so, and the way I could relate to it back then was, well, let me study medicine. That way I can help the sick and all that. So as I became much older, I started discovering some other parts of me that I could really explore, and I actually had a focus and I had an idea of who I really am. So I think it's just the same drive
just the passion to see someone better, right?
Yeah, make my environment, make people around me happy, make them better.
Wow, I think that is the best. That is the best motivation ever. Over to you, Emmanuel. I have to go back to you. I don't know what I mean. These are 3 brilliant, successful young men, and I don't know who to start from. But I have to start from you. But in a very, 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 very short sentence, I'd like to ask, what are the principles? It's cliche, we've always been talking about it, but we can't overemphasize the fact that we need to get some things into perspective. What are the principles of success? At least in one sentence.
The principle of success is God.
Well, we have viewers who are not Christians, so who could be atheists. Who don't believe in God.
Well, for me, the principle of my success, I would say, as of now, I'm not yet very much successful like the big men outside there.
But so far,
so far, both in every aspect I've seen, and everything you put in place as a man, I think I just still summarize it to be the success rate of every business is between you, your business, and God. So the business will be the middleman. The only person that you next put up your thing to is God. When you make all the plans and finish, you project to do the projections, this is how you want it to go. What if it doesn't go fine?
Okay, but now that's for you. You are a Christian, you believe in God. There are a lot of people out there who don't really believe in God. I'm not a moral compass, I don't judge anybody, and I cannot talk about religion here, but for them who are not Christians,
Okay.
what do you think that the general principle of success should be?
Okay, for them who are not Christians, because definitely I also work with non-Christians like Muslims
Okay.
too in my corporation. This is what they do. What they do is they do consistency. They're very consistent, and they also what they do is they interact. So you
Consistency and interaction.
Yeah. So the interaction, you don't have a barrier that keeps them. Okay, this is a Christian or this is a Muslim. In business, you don't look at those factors. You don't look at religion as a factor. This aids the efficiency of that business. You don't streamline it to just one group of people, let's say the church or the mosques or something. No, you have to spread the market. And I think that's what every person who is not, let's say, a religionist, like I am looking now like a religionist, they need consistency in whatever they're doing. They need to spread it wide. Interaction. That's what I believe.
Consistency and interaction.
Much of like networking. They need to do that.
Okay, thank you very much. Dumo, over to you. You are a medical practitioner in view, and you are also a chef. What career path would you advise for someone who wants to become a successful business person or a successful entrepreneur?
Okay. Now, medicine on its own is not a business. For me, medicine
it's not a business.
It's a calling. What I mean is, it's something you do. Like,
I hope you don't join. I hope maybe when you become a medical practitioner and the federal government owes you, owe the NMA a lot of money, I hope you don't go on strike as well. When you say it's not a business.
That's what I'm saying, that it's not a business.
Okay.
The job of saving lives, for me, it's something you do out of passion.
Okay.
Forget about the fact that we have a lot of charlatans, like doctors, and people who are there for the money, who can do a lot of stuff just for the money. But I think that the medical field is for people who really have a passion, like Jide said, to help people. So for me, it's still that. I have a passion to help people as well, and that's why medicine is it for me. But being a chef is strictly business. Native Flavors is business.
I know that. Because I can't go to a restaurant and eat for free.
Definitely. Okay. Even when you called me the other day, you were going.
Definitely, I had to pay.
I had to pay. But I understand. So it's for me that is business. And so to be a successful entrepreneur, it's medicine. Well, the doctors. I mean, the doctors who've done well, who make a lot of money. You see, but I don't think that is really a part. Like on the average, I mean, how many Fortune 500 companies, how many of the richest men in the world are doctors?
Okay. I was having that debate with someone the other day.
No. Well, you be comfortable. You're able to meet your,
eat 3 square meal.
Exactly. Your children go to a normal school.
Okay.
But really, if you want to really be a very successful business entrepreneur, I don't think medicine is really
the best place.
The part. But I've seen some doctors that really make they have clinics. Imagine if I own John Hopkins, I'll be a millionaire. So they have clinics, they have hospitals, and they employ other doctors. So they bring out the business part of medicine. That's the business part, owning an hospital, and then making people, a very good standard place, and people will come and you make money. But I mean the normal, you being a doctor, you go to work every day, treat your patients, and you go home and...
No, you only get your salary at the end of the month, that's all.
I don't think that will take you there.
Okay, but I want to be, okay, I have a business mentor, Donald Trump.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a business man in the real sense. I want to be like Donald Trump. Do you advise that I take a particular course in the university? Do you advise? What career path do you advise best?
Like I said earlier on, all business skills are learnable.
Okay. So you don't really need to go to school for it.
Well, you can. For instance, I intend to go for an MBA later on, because I'm really interested. Because business goes beyond just knowing how to. For me, for instance, knowing how to cook. Okay. There are basics that make the business. For instance, cash flow. Recently I started studying cash flow because that's the blood of the business. Okay. Without the blood, of course, the whole body of business will crumble. Knowing how to, bookkeeping, balancing accounts, monitoring cash flow, doing your profit and loss accounts, balance sheets, These are not things that we learn in medical school, for instance. These are not things that we even teach in school. But everybody who is going to start a business, you need these basics. Because one of the things that, from research, that actually crumbles businesses during their first year is because you don't know how to make cash flow. So once cash flows, like blood stops, the whole body stops. So there is no particular career path you need to follow in order to be a successful entrepreneur. You can be a doctor, you can be a politician, you can be a lawyer, you could be anything. You could be a talk show host, you could be anything. But you have a business.
Do you think I'd make a very good businessman?
Yes, yes. Because it's not like learning. It's not like being born with a particular skill of maybe you know how to play the violin, or maybe you were born with a particular skill, you know how to draw. No, business is not like that. There are real principles, and you see when you have to discover these principles, you need to understand them, and then you need to apply them. If you can do these three things, anybody can learn to be a businessman. It's just about knowing that this is the rule. These are the principles of business. This is it. The customer is king. This is how to keep a customer. This is how to maintain quality. This is how to do sales. You learn these things. You apply them. Wherever you are, it's going to work for you. So there's no particular career path to take. Anybody can be a business. In fact, everybody should do business. You know, that's what the Bible says. Not slothful in business. Everybody should do business.
Okay.